Welcome everyone to our deep dive into the life of one of the 20th century's most iconic figures, Ernesto Che Guevara. From the streets of Argentina to the jungles of Bolivia, from the heart of the Cuban Revolution to his efforts to spread revolutionary ideals across the globe, Che Guevara's journey was one of passion, dedication, and controversy. Today we're exploring the remarkable story of a man who became a symbol of rebellion and resistance, whose legacy continues to inspire and provoke debate around the world. Whether you admire him as a hero of the oppressed or critique his methods and outcomes, there's no denying the impact of Che's life on global politics and social movements. So stay tuned as we unpack the legend, the myths, and the truths behind Che Guevara. Ernesto Che Guevara is a figure whose life story resonates well beyond the boundaries of the countries he directly impacted. Known globally as a symbol of rebellion and revolutionary zeal, Guevara's formative years played a pivotal role in shaping his ideologies and convictions. This video delves into the childhood and educational journey of Che Guevara, unearthing the foundational experiences that influenced his evolution from a medical student to a revolutionary icon. Understanding these early years is crucial for comprehending the depth and breadth of his commitment to social justice and his relentless pursuit of equality. Ernesto Guevara was born on June 14, 1928, in Rosario, Argentina, into a family with leftist leanings. His parents, Ernesto Guevara Lynch and Celia de la Serna, were both intellectually inclined and socially conscious individuals, deeply influenced by the turbulent political climate of their time. From a young age, Guevara was exposed to discussions on social injustice, political reform, and the importance of civic responsibility, which sowed the seeds of his future revolutionary pursuits. Despite being born into relative affluence, Guevara's family faced financial difficulties, which taught him early lessons in humility and empathy. His struggles with severe asthma also played a significant role in shaping his character, instilling in him a resilience and determination that would become hallmarks of his later life. These health challenges did not deter him. Instead, they fueled his desire to overcome physical limitations and societal barriers alike. This section will continue to explore Che's early life experiences, focusing on how his family background, health, and social environment influenced his formative years, setting the stage for his later revolutionary activities. The narrative will also delve into the specific influences of his parents, their political beliefs, and how their intellectual environment nurtured his burgeoning sense of social justice. Ernesto Guevara's early life was a tapestry of contrasting influences, from the lush landscapes of his Argentinian upbringing to the intellectual and politically charged atmosphere of his family home. Born into a family with aristocratic roots but progressive views, Guevara was introduced to a wide range of political ideologies and cultural perspectives from a young age. His father was an avid supporter of the Republican cause in the Spanish Civil War, and his mother was equally passionate about social justice issues, which undoubtedly contributed to Guevara's early politicization. The Guevara family's financial instability, coupled with Ernesto's health issues, presented challenges that would shape his character and worldview. Despite these difficulties, or perhaps because of them, Ernesto developed a profound empathy towards those suffering from poverty and illness. His parents encouraged open discussion about political and social issues, fostering in him a critical perspective on the socio-economic disparities in Argentina and beyond. Guevara's education began at home, under the guidance of his mother, who was determined that her children would receive a well-rounded education. This early homeschooling included not only traditional subjects but also lessons on social responsibility and the importance of standing up for one's beliefs. Ernesto was an avid reader, delving into works by Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, and other socialist thinkers, which helped to form his early ideological framework. His formal education commenced in a school in Córdoba, where he was known for his intellectual curiosity and outspoken nature. Guevara excelled academically, but it was his exposure to the stark inequalities in Argentine society, particularly during his travels, that had a profound impact on him. These experiences solidified his determination to address social injustices and led him to pursue a career in medicine, aiming to directly alleviate the suffering of the poor. As Guevara transitioned into adolescence and early adulthood, his political activism began to take shape. High school and university years were marked by a growing awareness of and engagement with the pressing social and political issues of the time. His decision to study medicine at the University of Buenos Aires was not only a career choice, but also a moral commitment to serve humanity, particularly those marginalized by society. It was during his university years that Guevara's worldview expanded significantly, thanks in part to his travels through Latin America with his friend Alberto Granado. Witnessing the widespread poverty, exploitation, and oppression firsthand had a radicalizing effect on him, deepening his conviction that revolutionary change was necessary to address the root causes of these injustices. At the University of Buenos Aires, Guevara immersed himself in the study of medicine, seeing it as a tool for social change. His experiences traveling across Latin America further influenced his thinking, leading him to question the effectiveness of traditional medicine in addressing the social determinants of health. This period was crucial in his development as a revolutionary thinker, as he began to see the interconnectedness of health, poverty, and imperialism. Guevara's involvement in political and social activities intensified during his university years. He participated in protests and discussions that critiqued the Argentine government's policies and the influence of the United States in Latin America. These experiences sharpened his understanding of the political landscape and solidified his belief in the need for a socialist revolution. The childhood and education of Che Guevara were instrumental in shaping the man he would become. From his early exposure to political and social discussions at home to his formative experiences of inequality in Latin America, each element contributed to his revolutionary ideology. His academic pursuit in medicine was not just a professional endeavor but a reflection of his deep-seated desire to serve the cause of justice and equality. Guevara's early years underscore the importance of education, not just in academic terms but as a means of developing a critical consciousness and a commitment to social change. His legacy, rooted in these formative experiences, continues to inspire those who seek to challenge injustice and strive for a more equitable world. This exploration of Che Guevara's childhood and education reveals the profound impact of his early life on his revolutionary activities and ideals. His journey from a young boy in Argentina to a key figure in the Cuban Revolution exemplifies how personal experiences and education can fuel a lifelong commitment to fighting for social justice and equality. Ernesto Che Guevara's travels played a pivotal role in the evolution of his revolutionary ideology and his commitment to global socialist movements. These journeys, spanning several years and continents, were not mere adventures but critical phases of ideological and personal transformation. Guevara's experiences of witnessing firsthand the socio-economic inequalities and imperialist exploitation in Latin America and beyond deeply influenced his understanding of the struggles faced by the oppressed. This video aims to explore the profound impact of Guevara's travels on his life and legacy, shedding light on the experiences that shaped him into one of the most iconic revolutionaries of the 20th century. In 1952, Ernesto Guevara embarked on a seminal journey across South America with his friend Alberto Granado. This expedition, initially driven by a youthful desire for adventure, soon transformed into a critical awakening to the harsh realities of poverty, inequality, and exploitation. Traveling through countries such as Chile, Peru, Colombia, and Venezuela, Guevara was confronted with the stark disparities between the rich and the poor, the suffering of indigenous populations, and the pervasive influence of U.S. imperialism. This journey, later immortalized in the Motorcycle Diaries, was crucial in shaping Guevara's emerging social and political consciousness. The suffering he witnessed, combined with his medical background, solidified his belief in the necessity of radical systemic change. These travels left an indelible mark on Guevara, fueling his determination to fight for a more just and equitable world. Guevara's time in Guatemala in 1954 was a turning point, exposing him to the brutal realities of U.S. intervention in Latin America. The CIA-backed coup that overthrew the democratically elected government of Jacobo Arbenz, a leader who had embarked on progressive land reforms, was a stark illustration of the lengths to which the United States would go to maintain its economic and political dominance in the region. Witnessing the dismantling of Arbenz's government and the repression of progressive movements deepened Guevara's anti-imperialist sentiments and his conviction in the need for armed revolution as a means to combat tyranny and exploitation. In Mexico, Guevara's revolutionary path was further defined through his meeting with Fidel Castro and other Cuban exiles. Joining the 26th of July movement, he became an integral part of the preparations for the Cuban Revolution. This period was marked by intense ideological debate and military training, during which Guevara's skills as a tactician and his commitment to the revolutionary cause were honed. The solidarity and camaraderie developed among the revolutionaries in Mexico laid the groundwork for their subsequent actions in Cuba, shaping the course of Latin American history. The Cuban Revolution was the culmination of Guevara's transformation from a medical student and traveler to a committed revolutionary leader. His role in the revolution, from landing on the Cuban shores aboard the Granma to his leadership in the Battle of Santa Clara, exemplified his strategic acumen and unwavering dedication to the overthrow of the Batista dictatorship. The success of the Cuban Revolution not only changed the fate of Cuba, but also solidified Guevara's place in history as a symbol of revolutionary struggle and social justice. The Cuban Revolution, spanning from 1953 to 1959, stands as one of the most significant political upheavals of the 20th century. It not only dramatically transformed Cuban society and governance, but also left an indelible mark on global politics and revolutionary movements. Central to this transformative period was Ernesto Che Guevara, an Argentine doctor turned guerrilla leader, whose ideological fervor and military acumen played a crucial role in the revolution's success. Prior to the revolution, Cuba was under the dictatorial rule of Fulgencio Batista, who came to power through a military coup in 1952. Batista's regime was characterized by widespread corruption, political repression, and significant inequality, with a majority of the Cuban population living in poverty while a small elite prospered. Moreover, the United States' economic dominance over the island facilitated a culture of exploitation and further exacerbated social disparities. This environment of injustice and dissatisfaction created fertile ground for revolutionary sentiment to grow. The catalyst for the Cuban Revolution was the assault on the Moncada barracks on July 26, 1953, led by a young lawyer named Fidel Castro. Although the attack was unsuccessful and led to the imprisonment or death of many participants, it sparked a national movement against Batista's tyranny. Che Guevara, then a medical doctor deeply moved by the suffering he witnessed during his travels in Latin America, joined Castro's 26th of July movement in Mexico, where they prepared for armed struggle to liberate Cuba. The revolution gained momentum with the Granma expedition in December 1956, when Castro, Guevara, and 80 other fighters landed in Cuba to start a guerrilla campaign. Despite initial setbacks, the rebels regrouped in the Sierra Maestra Mountains, where they launched a series of successful guerrilla attacks against Batista's forces. Guevara's role as a charismatic leader and strategist became increasingly apparent, earning him the position of comandante. Che Guevara's contributions to the Cuban Revolution were multifaceted. As a military leader, he played a key role in several decisive battles, including the Battle of Santa Clara, which effectively sealed the fate of Batista's government. Beyond his military prowess, Guevara's Marxist beliefs influenced the ideological direction of the revolution, steering it towards socialism and away from mere political reform. The triumph of the Cuban Revolution in 1959 led to the establishment of the first communist state in the Western Hemisphere. It significantly improved healthcare, education, and land distribution in Cuba, though it also led to the suppression of political dissent and the exodus of many Cubans. Internationally, the revolution exacerbated tensions between Cuba and the United States, leading to decades of economic sanctions and diplomatic isolation. Moreover, it inspired leftist movements and revolutions around the world, from Latin America to Africa and Asia. Che Guevara's legacy within the context of the Cuban Revolution is complex. To some, he is a symbol of resistance against imperialism and a martyr for the cause of the oppressed. To others, he represents the dangers of ideological extremism and authoritarianism. Regardless of the viewpoint, Guevara's impact on the Cuban Revolution and his iconic status in global revolutionary law are undeniable. The Cuban Revolution, with Che Guevara at the forefront, remains a pivotal chapter in the history of the 20th century. It reshaped Cuba and had profound implications for the Cold War era, challenging the hegemony of the United States and inspiring countless individuals to question inequality and seek social justice. Guevara's involvement in the revolution cemented his place as a complex figure whose ideals, actions, and legacy continue to spark debate and admiration worldwide. One of Che Guevara's most notable contributions to the Cuban Revolution was his leadership in the guerrilla warfare that characterized much of the conflict. Guevara's guerrilla tactics were instrumental in several critical battles, perhaps most famously the Battle of Santa Clara in December 1958. This decisive engagement, under Guevara's command, involved derailing a military train and capturing the city of Santa Clara, effectively cutting Cuba in half and leading to the rapid collapse of Batista's forces. The victory at Santa Clara was a turning point in the revolution, demonstrating the effectiveness of guerrilla warfare and significantly demoralizing Batista's troops, leading to his flight from Cuba on January 1, 1959. Following the revolutionary victory, Che Guevara took on several key roles in the new government, highlighting his influence not only as a military leader, but also as an architect of socialist Cuba. As the head of the National Bank and later the Minister of Industries, Guevara implemented policies aimed at redistributing wealth and reducing foreign dependence. His efforts were critical in nationalizing industries, agrarian reform, and establishing social welfare programs. Guevara's Marxist-Leninist ideology profoundly influenced Cuba's direction, steering it toward a socialist model that prioritized education, healthcare, and equality. Guevara's vision for Cuba extended beyond its borders. He saw the island nation as a beacon for anti-imperialist struggle worldwide. His internationalism led him to support revolutionary movements in Latin America, Africa, and beyond, reflecting his belief in a global fight against oppression. Guevara's efforts to export the revolution underscored his commitment to his ideals and his willingness to sacrifice for the cause of liberation across the globe. The Cuban Revolution's impact was felt far beyond the island's shores, altering the course of the Cold War and shifting the balance of power in the Western Hemisphere. It challenged the United States' dominance in Latin America and became a symbol of resistance against colonialism and imperialism. The establishment of a socialist state 90 miles from Florida was a direct challenge to the US, leading to decades of hostility, including the failed Bay of Pigs invasion and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Globally, the revolution inspired a wave of leftist movements, from guerrilla groups in Latin America to independence movements in Africa and Asia. Guevara's writings and speeches, particularly on guerrilla warfare and socialist ideology, became essential reading for revolutionaries worldwide. The Cuban Revolution, with Guevara as one of its most visible figures, became a symbol of the possibility of successful resistance against tyranny. Che Guevara's legacy in the context of the Cuban Revolution is multifaceted. He remains a figure of reverence for many who see him as a martyr for the cause of social justice and anti-imperialism. His image, captured in the iconic photograph by Alberto Corda, has become a universal symbol of rebellion and revolutionary zeal. However, Guevara's methods and the authoritarian aspects of the Cuban regime have also been subjects of criticism, highlighting the complexities of his legacy. Despite these debates, Guevara's impact on the Cuban Revolution and his enduring influence on global revolutionary movements are undeniable. His commitment to his ideals, willingness to engage in direct action, and his vision of a more equitable world continue to inspire and challenge. The Cuban Revolution marked a significant moment in 20th century history, reshaping Cuba and influencing global politics in profound ways. Che Guevara's role in this transformative period was crucial, from his strategic victories on the battlefield to his efforts to build a socialist Cuba and support global revolutionary movements. Guevara's legacy is a testament to the complexities of revolutionary change, embodying both the aspirations for a more just world and the contentious means by which those aspirations are pursued. As we reflect on the Cuban Revolution and Che Guevara's place within it, we are reminded of the enduring power of ideals and the impact of individuals who dare to fight for those ideals against all odds. Che Guevara's international activities extended far beyond his critical role in the Cuban Revolution, reflecting his deep commitment to global socialist movements and anti-imperialist struggle. After his significant contributions to Cuba's transformation into a socialist state, Guevara turned his attention to spreading revolutionary ideals and supporting liberation movements across the world. This phase of his life underscored his belief in the necessity of global solidarity among oppressed peoples fighting against imperialism and capitalism. Guevara's internationalist perspective was rooted in his Marxist-Leninist ideology, which saw the struggles of the oppressed as interconnected across national boundaries. He believed that the fight against imperialism required a united front, transcending regional and national struggles to form a global resistance against the United States' economic and political domination. Guevara's writings and speeches during this period, including his famous address at the Afro-Asian Conference in Algiers in 1965, articulated a vision of a worldwide revolution that would overthrow colonial powers and establish socialist governments. One of Guevara's most notable international activities was his involvement in the Congo crisis in 1965. Motivated by a desire to support Patrice Lumumba's legacy and the Simba movement, Guevara led a group of Cuban guerrilla fighters to the Congo to train and fight alongside local rebels. Despite his commitment, the mission faced numerous challenges, including language barriers, the lack of discipline among the rebel forces, and the intervention of foreign mercenaries supporting the Congolese government. The operation in the Congo ultimately failed, leading Guevara to leave Africa disillusioned with the prospects of fomenting revolution there. However, this experience did not deter his revolutionary zeal but rather reinforced his belief in the need for a global strategy against imperialism. Following the Congo expedition, Guevara focused his revolutionary efforts on Latin America, believing it to be the next critical battleground in the fight against imperialism. In 1966, he secretly arrived in Bolivia to lead a guerrilla movement aimed at overthrowing the military government. Guevara's strategy was to use Bolivia as a base to spread revolutionary movements across South America. He wrote extensively during this period, formulating tactics and strategies for guerrilla warfare, which he hoped would inspire and guide future revolutionaries. Following the Congo expedition, Guevara focused his revolutionary efforts on Latin America, believing it to be the next critical battleground in the fight against imperialism. In 1966, he secretly arrived in Bolivia to lead a guerrilla movement aimed at overthrowing the military government. Guevara's strategy was to use Bolivia as a base to spread revolutionary movements across South America. He wrote extensively during this period, formulating tactics and strategies for guerrilla warfare, which he hoped would inspire and guide future revolutionaries. The Bolivian campaign, however, was fraught with difficulties from the start. The guerrilla group faced challenges such as harsh terrain, lack of local support, and the Bolivian army's increasingly effective counterinsurgency tactics, aided by the CIA. Guevara's capture and subsequent execution by the Bolivian military in 1967 marked the end of his international revolutionary activities, but did not diminish his influence. Che Guevara's international activities cemented his status as a symbol of global resistance against oppression and imperialism. His efforts in the Congo and Bolivia, despite their ultimate failure, inspired countless individuals and movements that sought to challenge existing power structures and fight for social justice. Guevara's writings, particularly guerrilla warfare, became essential reading for revolutionary movements worldwide, offering both practical advice and a philosophical foundation for armed struggle. Guevara's legacy as an internationalist revolutionary continues to evoke admiration and controversy. To his supporters, he remains a martyr who sacrificed his life for the cause of global liberation. To his critics, Guevara's methods and the outcomes of his campaigns are subjects of debate and criticism. Regardless of one's perspective, Che Guevara's commitment to his ideals and his impact on the global stage make him an enduring figure in the history of revolutionary movements. Che Guevara's international activities reflect his deep-seated belief in the interconnectedness of the struggles against imperialism and his unwavering commitment to fostering socialist revolutions worldwide. His efforts in Africa and Latin America, though not always successful, highlight his strategic and ideological contributions to the global revolutionary movement. Guevara's legacy, marked by both his successes and failures, continues to inspire and challenge those committed to fighting for a more just and equitable world. Che Guevara's death marked the end of a significant chapter in the history of global revolutionary movements and left a lasting impact on the world. His capture and subsequent execution in Bolivia in 1967 were events that resonated internationally, cementing his status as a martyr and symbol of the struggle against imperialism and for social justice. After months of guerrilla warfare in the Bolivian jungle, Guevara's efforts to incite a widespread peasant uprising against the Bolivian government were faltering. The guerrilla group faced challenges such as isolation, lack of support from the local population, and intense military pressure from Bolivian forces trained and aided by the United States. On October 8, 1967, Guevara was wounded and captured by the Bolivian army in the Uro ravine. The day after his capture on October 9, 1967, Che Guevara was executed in the village of La Higuera. Without trial, he was shot by a Bolivian sergeant, Mario Terán, acting on orders from Bolivian military commanders, who in turn were pressured by the CIA and the Bolivian government. Before his execution, Guevara reportedly faced his captors with defiance, urging them to shoot him, stating that his death would only serve to increase the cause of the revolution. His last words, as reported by some sources, were, "I know you've come to kill me. Shoot, coward, you are only going to kill a man." Following his execution, Guevara's body was displayed to the press in the nearby town of Grande, where photographs of his corpse were taken, showing him lying on a laundry sink, creating an image that many compared to the depiction of Christ in a pita. This image contributed to the mythologizing of Che Guevara and served as a powerful symbol of martyrdom. Guevara's remains were buried in an unmarked grave, and the location remained a secret for decades until 1997, when his remains were discovered, exhumed, and returned to Cuba. On October 17, 1997, Che Guevara was laid to rest with full military honors in a mausoleum in the town of Santa Clara, Cuba, the site of his greatest military victory during the Cuban Revolution. Che Guevara's death did not diminish his influence. Instead, it amplified his iconic status. His image, captured in the famous photograph by Alberto Corda, became a symbol of rebellion and anti-imperialist struggle, adorning posters, T-shirts, and murals around the world. Guevara's writings and his life story continue to inspire those who fight against inequality and oppression. The legacy of Che Guevara is complex and multifaceted. He is revered by many as a hero who dedicated his life to the cause of the oppressed, while others criticize his methods and the outcomes of the movements he supported. Regardless of the perspective, Guevara's commitment to his ideals and his impact on global politics and revolutionary movements make him an enduring figure in the history of the 20th century. In reflecting on Che Guevara's death and legacy, it's clear that his life and work left an indelible mark on the world. His story is a testament to the power of conviction and the impact one individual can have on the course of history. As we reach the end of our journey through the life of Ernesto Che Guevara, we are left to ponder the legacy of a man whose life was a testament to the power of conviction and the relentless pursuit of justice. Che's story is one of passion, idealism, and an unwavering commitment to the oppressed, making him a symbol of rebellion and revolutionary zeal that transcends borders and generations. Che Guevara's journey from a medical student to a key figure in the Cuban Revolution, and eventually a martyr for the global cause of socialism, highlights the complexities of his character and the radical nature of his beliefs. His efforts to spread revolutionary movements across Latin America and Africa speak to his deep-seated belief in a united struggle against imperialism and inequality. Yet, his methods and the outcomes of his endeavors remain subjects of debate, reflecting the multifaceted legacy he leaves behind. Guevara's execution in Bolivia did not mark the end of his influence. Instead, it amplified his iconic status, transforming him into a symbol of resistance against oppression and injustice. Today, Che's image, immortalized in photographs and murals worldwide, continues to inspire those who fight for social change, embodying the idea that the spirit of revolution knows no bounds. In reflecting on Che Guevara's life and legacy, we are reminded of the enduring power of ideals and the profound impact of individuals who dare to dream of a better world. Whether viewed as a hero or a controversial figure, Che's story challenges us to question the status quo and to consider the role of courage, sacrifice, and solidarity in the ongoing struggle for social justice. As we conclude this video, let us take a moment to consider the lessons that Che Guevara's life offers for today's world. His story encourages us to look beyond our own circumstances, to connect with the broader struggles of humanity, and to contribute, in whatever way we can, to the cause of a more just and equitable society. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Che Guevara's life and legacy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that delves into the stories of individuals who have shaped our world. Until next time, keep questioning, keep fighting, and most importantly, keep dreaming of a better tomorrow.